30 seconds, whatever, we'll jump in.
Yeah, Brian Hamilton, I'm excited to be here. I'm more excited than Jim Turner. I saw his interview with you guys last week. I'm excited. I've got guys to coach this year. Last year was kind of a revolving door with the position group, and we converted some guys and had to make some things happen. Through the adversity, Jackson Lanham and Seth really played hard, did a lot of good things. We're excited to have the room, more guys in the room. Like Coach said, it's a great room. I'm lucky enough on this staff to be more of a finishing carpenter. I have great young men who were raised the right way, who understand discipline, who understand the importance of focus. So my job is just to put the fine details on and allow them to be what they are all capable of.
Something I've always heard about tight ends is that they are the best athlete on the field, offense or defense. That's something
Tyler Huff would agree.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating position group. I'm a lifetime offensive line coach, and it really is an interesting group of young men because they're asked to do so many different things. When we talk about it, the installs are so heavy for the quarterbacks, but they're equally as heavy for us. We've got run points, and we've got to know the box, and we've got to know targets and acquire targets and learn how they move in space, and then we've got to react to targets in space when it comes to our routes and our landmarks. So they're a bright group, and they have to be a bright group because they have to see a lot, and they're asked to do a lot and react to what they see and what they feel in order to make the play right. I make a joke a lot of times. We're kind of an eraser. If there's a problem with the play, it's our job to erase it and get the ball going. Or like Micah today to be, and all the guys are great threats in space, but Micah today had a couple really nice grabs for touchdowns, and happy to see that, and the whole group is happy for it. And that's the thing that's really special about these kids and Coach Babital's program is they root for each other. I know the running backs last year. I mean, you talk about three talented young men who all encouraged each other, and I'm lucky enough to where that's bled over into my room.
Coach, what are some of the things that you guys have been doing this spring, and what are some of the things that you want to accomplish?
Eating. We've been eating. We were lucky enough, Coach Harrington and Coach Babital did a fantastic job with the nutrition. We were lucky enough to get to eat lunch with our guys, so I ate lunch with them every day. And I am a father of two young men, and so I'm used to one more bite, so we played that game quite a bit. And it's reflected in their transformation. We ate a lot, and then spent time together, which is the number one thing. Like Coach said, I am not a warm and fuzzy personality by nature, but I am a dad at all times, and fathers say no. And fathers institute discipline, and fathers are also there when times are tough. So with all my young men, I've been lucky enough to have conversations about things other than football, and those meals really provided that time. So I know I'm really thankful for the effort that went into the nutrition plan and the time that I got to spend with them.
It seems like from what Coach Spab has told us that the tight end may see an increased role this upcoming season. Obviously, that's something you would welcome. Is that something you're seeing early on in spring?
It's everything in every good football program is earned. We've got to earn our way onto the field. We've got to earn our way onto the field. I talk about the rule of 25%. When we're in the game, the ball needs to run 25% more yards than when we're in 10 personnel set. If we're in protection, the quarterback needs 25% more time, right? When we catch a ball, we've got to have 25% more yards after contact than any other position group. I mean, they're 250, 260-pound monsters, and you can see that with the way they're being attacked through their ankles this year rather than up high. So that's our job. Our job is to get as many of us on the field as possible. That's the mandate every day, is force them to put us on the field and then force them to put more of us on the field. Good question.
Coach Bavital was talking about the evolution of the tight end and the air raid system. How important is it that with the tight end, how they continue to evolve as the air raid continues to evolve?
That's been the thing is the emphasis in this offense and all the years that we've ran it has been how fast can we play. So you've got to integrate two things, right? You've got to integrate pro-style run concepts where we've got to fit a box and we've got to understand our landmark, and then we've got to be able to acquire that quickly, right? And then you've got to have value out in space. And so that's our main job, is to make it as easy as Coach Spab to call it, as easy as possible for the quarterbacks to run it, and as effective as possible through physical play.
Speaking on some of your personnel there, Jackson Lanham, Micah Hiltz, Tyler Huffle, all of them.
You forgot Seth.
Seth too. I'm sure there's a few other.
Seth is sneaky, man. So he sneaks up on you, but yeah, Seth. I'll go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. No, that's what I wanted to hear. I just wanted to ask about some of the traits that they attributed that you've seen from them in practice. I know Mikey, you didn't get a ton of him last year because
Right.
of the pec injury, but
I would say that last year, Jackson Lanham at 228 pounds was a hammer. You know, he made a difference. You know, you take a look at some goal line runs that we had. You know, we were behind 87 in his efforts. I think Seth handled the adversity last year tremendously well. I challenged him consistently. Him and I, you talk about hard conversations. We had a bunch of hard conversations, and he responded each time and kept fighting. You take a look at the Arkansas State game, you can squarely place that win on his physical efforts. Did you ever catch that game? No. Nah, but he made sure that other people got to catch the ball, and he fit a couple runs. You talk about the addition of Micah Hiltz. Here's a young man that's probably one of the most talented athletes on the team. I mean, he can dunk, he can probably dance, you know, I don't know. But you ask him to do just about anything physically, and he's going to be really good at it, right? So my job as a coach is to mold that and keep that going in the right direction. You got Tyler Huff, who's an absolute hammer, who we're excited to use. You've got Morgan Moore, you know, who's a contributor. So, and then, you know, we don't have Austin right now, but you know, he's in the room and he's heavily involved. So it's a really unique group. Like Coach said, like with all players, everybody has a highlight and a deficiency. Okay, and as a coach, your goal is not to sit around and talk about your players' deficiencies. Your goal is to make sure that their highlights are amazing and trust the play caller to call around their deficiencies and try to develop those to a baseline. But when I got here, I said I didn't really want to be a Swiss Army knife. You know, I didn't know that we had guys that could do everything, but I wanted to make sure that whatever gift they had, that I helped them refine that and be truly special at it. And now we've gotten to where we can do multiple things here in year 2. So that's a tribute to them and a tribute to Coach Harrington and the strength staff.
Coach, how much you mentioned how much size you guys have put on this
Yes.
offseason. How much do you feel like that's going to help come this season?
It's, you know, the air raid, everything else. This game comes down to one thing: big people beat up small people. And there's a time and a place where you've got to run the ball on 3rd and 1. And you better be able to count on these guys. And they're not going to be fit up against nickels and safeties. They're going to be fit up against 280-pound, 290-pound, very talented defensive ends in this conference. And those are one-on-one battles you have to win. You know, you can use every coaching cliche in the book. On 3rd and 1, it comes down to one-on-one. And we've got to make sure that we make that backs one-on-one as easy as humanly possible. And in order to do that, you've got to move people, right? The run game is about displacement. And you've got to be able to displace that defense out of a gap. And you've got to do that by force of will and strength and determination. You know, technique is awesome, and I work it, but at some point, someone's going to punch you in the mouth, and you better have a plan, like Mike Tyson said.
it's one of my favorite lines.
Yeah,
Mike
right?
Tyson said.
I mean, come on. We watched a highlight of him the other day, and I leaned over and told one of the guys, you know, he's 20 years old when he's knocking out men like that. You know, when he wore the white towel and as his warm-up robe, and it's that's what it comes down to: is grit and determination. And I challenged our guys today. You know, it's a spring, and we've got some injuries. And in order to run the ball, we're going to have to manufacture some runs, and that's going to mean counting on you guys to make physical plays. And I think we responded in a lot of ways and took another step forward.
You know, I asked Coach about the Kablamilton drill, where you go in there and smack that ball. You seem real aggressive with it. Where'd that drill come from?
Came from hiring an offensive line coach to coach tight ends. Coach, we were really early on, and he said, hey, we ran a drill at West Virginia called the boom drill. And it was where you really tried to hit the ball out. It wasn't the pat, pat, pat. It was one good blow. Could they sustain one good blow to the drill? And Kablamilton comes from my wife. When we were in California and getting ready to move, I got really sick of old furniture and like trying to take it apart, you know, because we bought cheap furniture with, you know, the tool that they give you to build the furniture. So I got sick of trying to take it apart, so I started breaking it and filming it. And I started just screaming Kablamilton every time that I broke a desk or I broke a chair. And she said, you're missing a huge opportunity to start your own YouTube channel. So Kablamilton has been screamed around my house for about 5 years now. And we've got, you know, 2 little Kablamiltons. The younger one, Briggs, is really into it. The older one, Brock, is a little too cool for that now. Yeah, no, it's you hit people as hard as you can. And I love it. You know, I mean, you give me 5 minutes to go hit and then, you know, feel it again, you know, I'm in. So I'm thankful that Coach lets me to continue to do it. Yeah, I was a little nervous when I made it onto social media because I mean it when I hit people. So, yeah, you know, but I love it. It's I get to interact with every kid on the team between special teams and Cablamilton, so I'm really blessed that way. I've really enjoyed that. Somebody's got a call.
Just push ignore. I don't know whose it is. There you go. Yeah, Brock will come back around. He'll like the Cablamilton down the road again.
Yeah. Right now, it's about coming out here in the right shoes, and the hair done, because he's around the older guys. Like it's the best thing about coaching college football is if you do it right, your kids get to adopt a bunch of brothers. When you have to move around like our kids do and follow their dads and follow their dad's dreams. And so, my guys all follow Brock on Instagram and give him advice about girls and what looks cool. And it's so right now he's into impressing his older brothers, and Briggs, being the younger brother, is about hitting his older brother. So it's he really gets it.